The USL Cup Round 3 starts at Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey, with a classic geographical rivalry between New York and New England writes another chapter. League One newcomers New York Cosmos arrive having won their last match in this tournament, but host the reigning USL Cup holders from the championship, Hartford Athletic. The Prinx Tires USL Cup is on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Group 5 consists of 3 teams between the Championship and League One. Our standings are brought to you by Capelli Sport, and no one in Group 5 can clinch or be eliminated. Both Hartford and Portland are tied at the top with 4 points apiece, but Hearts of Pine have the edge because of more goals scored. Cosmos are only 1 point behind, tied with Brooklyn at 3 apiece, while Westchester and Rhode Island are at the bottom, still winless in this tournament. But for Cosmos, they have one win in this tournament that came last time out against Westchester in the middle of May. Sebastian Guanzatti got things started, but for Westchester, they would respond 2 goals early on in the second half to take the edge 2-1. However, the Cosmos still had something left to prove. With plenty of time available, 20 minutes remaining with the 2-1 deficit to make up, they are able to do so with 2 goals within the final 15 minutes, an 81st minute goal, and a stoppage time stunner to stop things for Christian Kofi and the Cosmos. But since then, they have only 1 win in their last 7, which was the Westchester match, and 3 regular season losses, so a changeup is needed, and Derek Chan can provide that. Having used 3 goalkeepers throughout the season, Chan is the only one to get a win in the regular season across both of his starts in League One play. For the Cosmos, they took last place midweek in the League One table, so any change is welcome for the Cosmos. As for Hartford Athletic, it's been a bit of an up and down season, but the last time out against Brooklyn in the USL Cup, they were able to not only secure the win, but it was also the last game where they scored a goal in their last 3 matches. For Hartford, they were able to seal things off 2-0, not only marking the last time that Athletic won, but even the last time they scored a goal. But for Hartford, the prowess is not on attack, it's actually on defense, and that leads with Anthony Siaha. Not only is the 28-year-old keeper from Cameroon leading USL Championship in clean sheets, he's also top 5 in saves, and he has been the #1 goalkeeper for Brandon Burke, having started all 10 regular season matchups. A new chapter in the New York-New England rivalry is still to be written. Title defense is still alive for Hartford Athletic, while a 2nd consecutive cup win is on the minds of New York Cosmos. Lineups and kickoff are next.
Ready, buddy? Here it comes. Keep your eye on the ball.
We see your future.
I got my eye on these colors.
Your day-to-day.
Okay. Well, I got my eye on this.
Yeah, right.
Really? And every big decision along the way. We see you when other banks really don't. So we can see you through anything. We're always looking out for you. Ion Bank.
I'm Brie and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम चान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
हम तजिंदर कौर असी आयन बैंक हुंदे हम.
I'm Taiwan and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
يا يستم آيان بانك.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank. I am Ion.
I'm Brie and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम चान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
हम तजिंदर कौर असी आयन बैंक हुंदे हम.
I'm Taiwan and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
يا يستم آيان بانك.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank. I am Ion.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. We go through our starting 11s, brought to you by Ion Bank. For the Cosmos, Kofi and Bowie have both missed a couple of matches, but are back in the lineup for today. Leo Guarino is in the midfield. He has yet to start in the regular season for Cosmos, but does get into the starting 11 today. Maserati makes his debut for Cosmos, and Chant is 2-0-0 in 2 regular season matches started. As for Athletic, they've also had a whole myriad of opportunities to go, as Williams makes his 300th pro appearance across all competitions. For Carrega and Ingalina, they're in the midfield. Both of them got a goal against Brooklyn, while Anthony Siaha got a clean sheet last time out against New Mexico. He has started all 10 regular season matches for Brendan Burke. We make our way to Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey, where it is a new feature in the classic geographical rivalry between New York and New England, as the Cosmos will start with the ball in green, right to left. Hartford in the white and green shorts, left to right. They will begin as we get started. Round 3 in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Brian Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here in Paterson, where there has been a whole lot of action, a lot of cup competition within the state of New Jersey, not just here within the Prinx Tires USL Cup, but also with the big tournament coming down the road at MetLife. It is a whole bunch of opportunities here as Hartford charge into the box, unable to get it. It was swept away by Matarasi. Arturo Despe, he holds back, not only wearing the captain's armband, just surpassed 15,000 regular season minutes in USL Championship play, as that was unable to be kept in for Hartford, as the touch was made by Samadia out of play. For New York Cosmos in this competition, they did beat Westchester last time out, but that was over in Westchester, just towards top of the table, where they're only a singular point out, currently occupied by the tie of Portland and Hartford. Centering feed, Williams couldn't get the swing, rebound off the block, and Cosmos a chance to clear, taken down, still with Hartford, as that second try slowly makes its way towards Derek Chan. Hartford have eyes for goal early. Kofi tripped up, and you still have a man down at the top of the box for Hartford, and that's the one that New York might have escaped one there. You could have made the argument for the penalty. This is the foul on Kofi that came out early. Have the extension of the leg on Despe. Arturo Despe recently got through 15,000 minutes in regular season action in the USL Championship. Has been a part of this Hartford side for 2 seasons, but a lengthy League One veteran, nearing 200 matches across his several seasons in the USL Championship, dating back to 2019 with Portland Timbers 2. Deep try, searching, Zalanka bounces towards Siaha. This is a Hartford side with a defensive prowess has most certainly elevated them in many parts of the championship season, but they've been missing that offensive touch in parts. Brendan Burke noting that they've really had their chances, not only creating them, but also in quantity, but the big issue has been that finishing element, not getting that final ball to the back of the net. It's one of the reasons they have been snake-bitten in the recent affairs. Scoreless draw against New Mexico, lost 2-0 to Tulsa. So they're riding just a bit over 2 full games without a goal. Augie Williams hoped to be a part of the solution, but he has been one of the reasons why the offense has struggled, because he has not been that same offensive producer where he has had double digits in 4 of the last 5 seasons. The only outlier was 2025 where he had 9 total goals. Attempted back heel, searching for Ingalina. He'll stay with Hartford. Couple options standing over it. You have Correga and Anderson. It's Sebastian Anderson, but blocked away very easily before it's taken back by Hartford. Correga couldn't serve it in and is booted away by New York. You have two teams who have had their relative issues, actually on different sides of the ball. For Hartford, they have been one of the best defensive units in the entire championship, top 3 in terms of the fewest goals scored, but their issues have actually been on the offensive side. We noted what Brennan Burke is looking for from his guys, but the 9 goals in 10 games are the least amongst the championship. They might have a chance to regain not only their sea legs, but their offensive confidence against a Cosmos squad that have the most goals conceded across the entire USL League One. 24 goals allowed by Cosmos in their 10 games. One of the many reasons why they are not only 2-7-1 in their 10 regular season matches, but as of Wednesday, at the bottom of the table in League One. But silver lining for New York, both of their wins this year did come at home. End to end, Samadia keeps it in. Laid back Ingalina. Back and forth they go. Ingalina, edge of the box, looking for a feed. Couldn't recoup. Coffee, a touch, swatted out. Looking to spring ahead. Patrick Bowie. Well short of Kofi, as the recovery comes from Zalonka. Already coughed up once again. Hartford aggressive. It's been a ping pong match so far. No one's able to strike first. Guarino on the outside. Leo Guarino. Centering feed. No one to recover. Barry Coffey is back. That is a takedown, foul against Davide Materazzi. It's been a real up and down season for the reigning USL Cup title holders. Deep ball, Ingalina holds on, centers, but too high. Had a really promising start to the year, did Hartford, especially in regular season play. Their opening 5 games unbeaten, 2-0-3, put them in the top 3 of the Eastern Conference, but since then a little bit of a fall from grace for Athletic. Only 1 win on 5 competitions since then in regular season play, and actually not even just having the results go against you, but even the productivity within those results not striking either, where they only scored 2 goals within those 5 games, dropping them down to just barely inside the playoff line at 8th. Samadia centers, loose, no one can claim it. Punched out, Kofi collects. Guarino. You had Zalonka and Kofi coming in, but Hartford reading things well. Anderson on the outside as Dispe takes from center. They'll come back to New York as you can turn into CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, June 10th for USL Eastern Conference Championship clash under the lights. Tampa Bay Rowdies defend their home turf against battle-tested Charleston Battery. 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action June 10th on CBS SN. That is a Wednesday game for the USL Championship. That'll be most certainly a match where Hartford will have to keep their eyes open. They are in 8th in the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference through their initial 10 matches. Having taken a scoreless draw the last time they were in competition against New Mexico, but that was back at Trinity Health Stadium. Only one game over 500 in their opening 10 games of the season. 3 wins, 2 draws, and 3 wins, 2 losses, 5 draws. And actually, that just comes after their 2025 season, historic on multiple levels for Hartford. Not only the first time they made the playoffs, also the first time they were over 500 to end the season. Being able to parlay that into a Jägermeister Cup title last year. And the title defense is still on. They're tied at the top of the group with Portland. Chance for Athletic. Samadia crosses off a block. Kept in play. Angelina. Back and forth to the center, and it trickles off the line. The rebound is back in. Hartford's been knocking at the door, and Augie Williams gets the opening goal of this match and snaps the second longest playoff drought in his career. Augie Williams has been a man snake-bitten, 9 games without a goal in all competitions. It's loose on the line. Coffey got a swing before it's an easy tap-in for Williams. Chan did as much as he could. He even got the foot on the Coffey attempt, but no one able to get through from Augie Williams, who has been so productive, so lethal, especially when he's inside of the box. Having really been one of the key catalysts in Pittsburgh's title run last year, and tries to help out the title defense efforts for Hartford Athletic. Nine games without a goal across all competitions. The second longest in his career since 2021, where he had 14 games without scoring a goal. That was back when he was with LA Galaxy and the respective second side of the championship. And Hartford were striking early, over 2/3 of the possession. Both shots, the lone on target. Anderson hustles back as Motabiro wanted to continue for Cosmos, but Hartford block it off. What can Cosmos do, especially for a team that has really had their deficiencies? Ingalina's back in, sidesteps. Ingalina blocked off his own man. Williams has it. The rebound is blocked. Hartford hustle to maintain. Kofi draws contact back for Anderson. Anderson across. Correga blocked by Chan. Service again too high for Williams, and Chan will hold on. Derek Chan yet to play in either iteration of the USL Cup. As we take another look at that last attempt, Ingalina was sliding through the box, had a bounce off his own man, and Williams looks like he took the extra bounce to try to corral it with the awkward height that it was at, so it wasn't really a good ball to strike. But Williams with the first goal of the match in the 11th minute. Goal number 95 in professional, game number 300 for Augie Williams. That's how this game starts off in the quarter hour. Otabiro. Guarino couldn't lead it for Kofi. And the slide will draw an automatic red! That's an automatic red for Cosmos! Tino Puentes is sent off only a quarter hour in! You had a bit of late contact. Dispe got rid of the ball. And despite Dispe's efforts to elude the slide, you can very clearly see studs up right on the little joint where shin meets foot. And Dispe is in all sorts of discomfort, and this throws all sorts of wrenches for Coach Corti's side. Only one regular season red card for Cosmos. And this is for a team that have already had their respective issues since that Westchester game where they lost and have lost since. And because of the weather also, things have not just gotten stormy on the pitch, but in the air as well. It looks like there is a delay in the action due to weather. And we will take a look and see how things go from here. But it is going to be a much different game when we come back. Tino Puentes, the red card, in a 1-0 game favoring Hartford. A weather break on hand. We make our return to Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey. Round 3 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. 100 minutes after Lightning made its way to New Jersey, we come back where Hartford Athletic currently have a 1-0 lead after 15 minutes of play. It was 11 minutes deep. Augie Williams getting on the scoreboard to start things off for Athletic. But not only are Hartford a goal up, they are a man up, as the last action prior to the delay was Tino Puentes taking a red card after a dangerous slide tackle on Arturo Dispay. And not only will Hartford resume this game a man up, they will take a ball on the free kick spot, a goal up. We will play the remaining 75 minutes, 11v10, favoring Hartford, who coming into the day were the lowest scoring offense in the USL Championship, already getting off the schneid early on, but might have a chance to even pack it on further. We are just past the 15-minute mark as we're back in play. 100 minutes later, we are back in action. Augie Williams, goal number 95 in his pro career, in appearance number 300. While Tino Puentes, for the first time in his rookie season, he is sent off. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew, we are back here at Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey. And also good to see Arturo Dispay back in play after he took that dangerous slide from Puentes. As Hartford look to attack further, already doing damage once before that's blocked away by Materazzi. Successfully kept in by Fisher. Again to the box, not there. But back it comes for Athletic. It was a near automatic decision by John Matto as Hartford along the line to center. The roadblock was Sidol. And Darren Sidol wears the band today for New York Cosmos, the Dutch midfielder. Early on, about 62% of possession going to Hartford. That will likely increase as they have the man advantage. Williams to touch, no one to receive. Poked away by Sidul. Kofi couldn't keep it as more bodies go down to ground. Hartford in the early showing, 8 attempts, 4 of them on target. One was successfully able to beat Derek Chan, who was in net the last time New York won in regular season play, as it's poked along before it's disrupted. As the foot race was on for Bowie. Hartford at center again. Carriaga up the gut. Galena fumbled it, but it's back towards Hartford. And you have to wonder how things are going to pan out with this 11v10 scenario for New York, considering they've only had to live through it once throughout the season so far. Samadia. Play back towards Britton Fisher. Nice attempt to chart free from Leo Guarino, who spent last year with New York City FC's second team, centered in the box. Williams, left foot, second try, chip, and over. This is another nice offensive attempt by Hartford, utilizing the extra space as Williams had 2 men draped all over him. The Cosmos were calling for offside, but if the offside was counted or if it didn't, it doesn't matter. It goes back towards Chan. For Hartford, they drew scoreless against New Mexico the last time they played. Just talking about the chances, especially because some of the overall analytics for Hartford have been very promising per Brendan Burke. but especially because they've been very efficient and productive. It's just a matter of that finish. And Augie Williams did get the finish to open things up. Barry Coffey. Over the head of Samadia. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Despite the resumption of play, there is still a relatively steady precipitation here in New Jersey. A little gentler than it was before we got to delay, but expected what conditions to play its effect as time does go on. And as if a task wasn't already hard enough for New York Cosmos, they get the red card straight out of the pocket from John Matto. Hartford on the hunt as Kiriaga works alongside Makangila. Samadia forces it out of play. Anderson had Williams to keep it in play. Williams back and forth with Anderson. This will force a free kick to Hartford. Materazzi, the guilty party once again, the 24-year-old Italian. He's actually playing in his very first game with Cosmos as he takes a little bit of a clip on Sebastian Anderson. Has not played in regular season action is Materazzi. This is his first appearance, as it will draw the free kick by the corner flag with Anderson and Kiriaga. Now it's just Kiriaga. Soon to be 24. Alone, Kiriaga. Across and punched out by Chan. This will force a corner, the first of the match. Looks like he tried to curl perhaps under the post, but Kiriaga will go again. Another service, headed back by Cosmos as it rolls away from the box. Potential counter, it's Bowie to the center. Bowie taken down, no penalty, held on by Siaha. Another stoppage after that last sequence as you had Bowie and Siaha getting tangled up. Bowie nearly had a breakaway attempt, but Siaha was there to deny it. This was the last attempt. You had Bowie and you had 3 shirts draped all over him. You wanted, for New York, maybe a penalty for the tangling of legs between Bowie and Dispe, but not given. Good to see Patrick Bowie, the 22-year-old from Ivory Coast, back on his feet. Spent the last couple years in the lower divisions, back and forth between some of the stops in Europe and the US. A couple years in the lower division in Portugal, a couple years in the top division of Norway. As another takedown, and that's decent pay once again. They're already on a red card are New York. No other card has been shown aside from that. That one not nearly as egregious as the one from Prinx, but that does deserve the stoppage at least. Christian Kofi spending last year with Huntsville, his second season in Next Pro after coming to the U.S. with Chicago Fire 2 in 2024. Williams had that one hacked away from him to a corner. Arriaga did get a goal in the last match in this cup competition against Brooklyn. He serves off a corner. Low driver, top of the box gets blocked. Samadia, the man back. Prestus alongside. Foot race with Guarino. Samadia dislodged. As Galazzini gets into the mix, Guarino pulls it out. New York gets the free kick either way. It's a relatively light month for all of USL. Including these two teams, they'll only play 3 total matches in the month of June, both New York and Hartford. For New York, this is also the only time in the month that they'll be here. As for Hartford, they do head to Tampa in about a week's time, and a week after that, they host Pittsburgh. Samadia outside to cross. Cut down, still loose, top of the area. Ingalina from distance, but that's well high and well wide. Ion Bank, trusted, local, and always on your team. Whatever your personal or business banking goals, we're here to help you reach them. Discover the power of community banking and see what Ion Bank can do for you. IonBank.com. Fisher very much getting into the mix of things almost every single time. He started all 10 regular season matches for Hartford so far this year. On loan from Minnesota United's program, where he's been a part of their organization since 2023. Has been able to have a pretty solid showing, proving to be a reliable starter no matter where he's been, either with Minnesota or with Hartford. This will allow Montevideo to resume action. Fisher. That got away from him. What more can Hartford potentially do with their attack, considering they've already had a significant reach of the offense throughout the opening half an hour? Have pretty much blanked out New York to this point on the offensive end of things, aside from the one big attempt by Patrick Bowie. Hartford already athletic, already confident that they are a very strong defensive-minded team. That offensive side had been missing for quite some time as Bowie tries to spark. Bowie gets blocked. And nothing else will come except the signal to the corner. There's a Hartford team that in regular season action have clean sheets in 5 of 10. And they'll have to look out for a New York team that are hungry to continuously show themselves as a League One expansion side. They'll take their first corner. Bowie away from Fisher. And contact gives it back towards Hartford. Only the Rowdies have more clean sheets in regular season play than Hartford at this point of the year. Otabiro too far out from Guarino. Ingolina. Williams takes the touchback for his side where they already lead by a goal to nil. Not only up a goal, but up a man are Hartford, considering how Prinx took that red card at the 15th minute mark. We have played another 15 minutes since then, and Hartford have held on. New York have held on, pardon. Hartford are begging at the door and knocking things down has been a big message for Brandon Burke to his guys. The precision of runs and timing and even just the volume of opportunities, considering that they're bottom 10 in the championship in shot attempts, has been one of the reasons why they haven't scored as much as they initially started off the year with. Sebastian Anderson, space inside, Anderson, middles, return to Anderson, and that bounces to Chan. Nice little give and go here to Sebastian Anderson. You've seen him a lot on the set pieces in the early portion of this game, but the quick touch up to Williams allows the attempt towards Anderson, who, when talking about the game throughout the week, just talked about ruthlessness in their offensive identity has been missing. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. The revival of the New York Cosmos in Patterson. And you also have everything that's been cooking up over in Hartford. Down the line, Coffee. Bouncer to center. No one can claim it as that went New York's way on the whistle. Hartford could probably use a goal like that. The way they got it from Williams, just very greasy in front of the net. You had the first shot from the outside that got blocked off by Chan, and 2 rebound opportunities between Coffee and Williams. Numbers inside the box has really been a big key for Brandon Burke and his messaging to his team on how to maybe revamp some of the offense. As they want to spark again. Outside for Kofi, but Hartford are on once more. gut. Williams fighting for it. Sadul plays it outward. Galazzini gallops the far sideline. Zalanka. Kofi. Kofi and Bowie taking that near sideline. And they'll retreat it back. They've got Motabiro and Noker. Falls kindly for Kofi. Bowie all by himself. Bowie, the attempted cross, not there. And it's back towards Siaha. Hartford has played a rendition of New York Cosmos in seasons past. You'd have to circle back to the second round of the 2019 US Open Cup. But of course, with the hiatuses of varying degrees with New York Cosmos, history is technically a little bit more complicated than that. But you did have a Hartford win by a score of 2-1 against New York Cosmos B when they were in the NPSL. That was circled back to about 7 years ago in 2019. And that 2019 season also would have been the inaugural full season for Athletic also. Williams, near side. We're in the final 10 minutes of the opening half, following a weather delay over an hour and a half. Samadia crossing, heading off the bar and out of play. Barry Coffey by inches just missed. This was a great service. You had Emmanuel Samadia on the outside, curled it, and Coffey was on an island. And it didn't force Chan to touch it. That clips the top of the crossbar as it comes back again for Hartford. Coffey. Williams taken down. Coffey again, just outside of his intended target. Coffey and Carriaga all within that penalty dot region, but pass was inaccurate. Possession 2/3 to Hartford. And because of the extra man, they have had the benefit throughout. 12 shot attempts to 1. That one attempt was from Patrick Bowie. Moreno plays it upward. Sadul. And Fisher will be the last man back as Galazzini could not collect it. Good news for New York. Force out by Fisher will give it back to New York. Tossed in. And Guarino takes down his man to a foul. John Matto leading the way. Zeno Cho and Justin Lopez are assistant referees. Stephen Foster is our fourth official for the crew. Referees in the yellow uniforms for this evening's match. And they already had to make a game-changing decision about 20 minutes ago. Diagonally, back to center. Williams couldn't touch the rebound. They score. Coffee couldn't get the first one, but he gets a second. Hartford up 2-0 just before halftime. For Barry Coffee, that's goal contributions in back-to-back games in the USL Cup. Dropped off by Williams, and that's just a line drive for Coffee. Make no mistake about it. No one in the area using the extra space because of the odd man scenario. And just whips that one through the back of the net. Derek Chan could only do so much. That's his second goal in all competitions this year is Coffee. Spent last year in the second division of Ireland, where he bounced around between Ireland and Scotland since 2017. But makes his way to Hartford, first season, second goal in all comps. There's a whistle that comes right after a scuffle by center. And there might be a final warning from John Matto before he starts dishing out more cards than he already did. The Fuentes send-off is the only card that's been distributed today. Too far ahead of Anderson. Athletic trying to wash away a 0-0 draw against New Mexico, where Brandon Burke said it felt like a 3-0 loss. Especially with the intense in the attacking third. Whether if it's being aggressive and taking the shot, as opposed to maybe taking the extra pass. And just being a little bit slower in moments and allowing other teams to catch up to what Hartford are doing. Right now, Hartford's chasing. Patrick Bowie sends it across, no one to receive. That was over the head of Zawonka. Streaking by is Ingalina. Dispe. Samadia centers. Another ricochet will go wide of Chan. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Who doesn't have an app these days? You have a shove down from behind. Bowie took some contact on the behind of Anderson, and that is the second card of the match, both of them directed towards New York. You can see just a two-handed shove from behind on Patrick Bowie. He didn't play in the last match against Sarasota. But he was on the pitch the last time they were back here at Patterson against Union Omaha. Only 2 starts in regular season play off of 6 appearances for Bowie. And Brandon Burke and his staff had a yellow card directed their direction as well. Pay across for Fisher. Prestus Payback to center, looking for Williams, but it's off the board in! Williams let it slide, and Samadia smashes it home. 3-0 Athletic. What a play this is for Hartford Athletic. They are flowing. It looked like Williams would have gotten the touch, but instead it slid by him. Probably for the benefit as Samadia was streaking. Had his man lost. Underside of the crossbar. Chan had no chance. And it's 3 for Hartford. Hartford have not scored 3 in a game since their season opener. It was a 3-0 win on the road against Sporting Jacks to open up USL Championship play. They've got 3 in the opening half against the Cosmos and 3 extra minutes in the opening half. Samadia has yet to get a goal in USL Championship play, but it trickles outside where it's held up by Sadul. Sadul's cross gets blocked. Second try, and the contact will go against New York. They'll have to be careful as there's some separation being needed. Sadul was getting chippy in the face of TJ Prestis. And John Matto has been letting those aggressive play slide all game long, but a yellow card does come up at the end of that sequence. So Sadul wanted to cross it, had the block from Prestis, or Anderson rather, and then the pushing and shoving commences. Prestis gets in the mix a little bit to separate the two. Been a very frustrating season to say the least for New York Cosmos. And probably about as bad of a week as you can have if you are New York. Wednesday, Corpus Christi wins their first game of the year. That drops New York to the bottom of the table. They get the early goal scored against them a dozen minutes in. And then they get the red card only 15 minutes in the game. And as we are seconds from halftime, they are down 3, but whether or not it goes further is TBD. Deep try, Siaha off his line, but way out. Gotta appreciate the effort though. New York could look for anything at this point. Especially in a situation like this for Cosmos. How do you stay composed through all of it? And maybe not go down even further. (16-2) are the attempts. And 3-0 is the lead for Hartford going into halftime. We were out for 100 minutes. But we will do so again as halftime has come through the opening 45. Augie Williams got it started, a goal and an assist, but Samadia taps in the third to make it 3-0 for Athletic. It was a question of what could be done through 45 minutes of play with the delay, with a red card, and with a 3-0 lead for Hartford Athletic. Halftime continues when we come back. We're back in Patterson. 3-0 for the roadside Hartford Athletic over the New York Cosmos so far in round 3 of the USL Cup. It has most certainly been action-packed, but it's most certainly been Hartford's way throughout. As we are in the midst of round 3, we take a look back at round 2 of the USL Cup. As you can see, 2 members of the Cosmos were on this list. Ajmer Spangler getting an assist on the opening goal by Sebastian Guenzati. Guenzati getting an assist on another goal in the 3-2 win against Westchester. As for Antoni Siaha, he's on the bench portion of the Team of the Week, stopping all 5 shots on target against Brooklyn. Had to see 15 attempts come his way from the 2026 championship expansion side. As we take a look back further into round 2 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup, this is the Team of the Week. How about the individual moments of the week?
The Rowdies remained unbeaten in all competitions thanks to an impressive start at Pitbull Stadium. Louis Perez in space, but the runs from MD Myers and Dolabella create it. Watch him step in, take a touch, move to his left, off the post and in. An eclectic strike for the Rowdies is your Prinx Tires USL Cup goal of the round.
Will be Quazera. Good ball. Back post. May have been knocked away by Morse. It stays out.
Trying to come back across where it comes from, and Hunter Morse. That was
Morse. Wow.
Wonderful save yet again.
42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wildcard team, not 2 wildcards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wildcard cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final.
Prinx tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Ready, buddy? Here it comes. Keep your eye on the ball.
We see your future.
I got my eye on these colors.
Your day-to-day.
Okay. Well, I got my eye on this.
Yeah, right.
Really? And every big decision along the way. We see you when other banks really don't. So we can see you through anything. We're always looking out for you. Ion Bank.
Returning to Hinchliffe Stadium in Paterson, New Jersey. About 100 minutes worth of a break, but we have another one already in store. 3-0 at the halftime break, New York and Hartford in the USL Cup. We got a chance to look back at round 2. Let's look ahead at what is on the docket for both clubs. For New York Cosmos, 2 of their next 3 games are on the road. They travel to Covenant Health Park over at 1 Knoxville before going to Forward Madison, and up in Wisconsin, they get a chance to host the Triumph back here in Paterson on July 4th, which will be the next home game, which will also be the last game of regular season play before they get back into Prinx Tires USL Cup action on 7/11. As for Hartford Athletic, 3 games still on the docket. They have quite a bit of a road stretch coming up. They have a duel against the Tampa Bay Rowdies next week before going back home to take a visit from Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and they're on the road on July 4th in Louisville. That is 3 consecutive games with teams in the top 5 of the Eastern Conference. And for Hartford, who are right on the playoff line, they're going to need every single opportunity they get. We took a look from these 2 specifically, but let's take a look around the rest of the USL.
It is halftime in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. The drama is building in all groups. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from League One and the championship. The lone unbeaten club in both leagues is putting up dominant numbers in a 2026 turnaround. The Tampa Bay Rowdies have scored first in all 13 of their matches in all competitions this year. But if you break it down to just 11 games in the championship, the Rowdies have outshot their opponents 50-28 so far. Congratulations to Greenville Triumph for opening the latest of the new stadiums in League One. The Triumph began play in GE Vernova Park with a win over Forward Madison. League One now boasts 3 brand new stadiums in 2026. Young players are starting to earn more and more playing time in League One and the USL Championship. How about Santiago Higuereta from AV Alta? He scored his first professional goal in Week 12. At age 17 years, 249 days old, Higuereta is the youngest goal scorer in AV Alta history, and he beats out Vigo Ortiz of Charlotte Independence by 43 days for the League One youngest player to score this season. Upcoming national spotlight games next Wednesday, the Rowdies and Charleston Battery, Forward Madison and Fort Wayne on the 17th, and Las Vegas and Orange County on the CBS Sports Network. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
This week on USL All Access, the 19-year-old rookie for Charleston Battery, Colton Swan, joins the show.
Just one of 3 players called outside of the MLS pyramid, and only 2 from USL Championship play. Why has his star been on the rise recently for the Charleston Battery? And what's next for the U.S. Youth National Team player? Prinx Tires Cup. Back this weekend, what group do you have to keep an eye on?
I'm Brie, and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम चान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
हम तजिंदर कौर असी आयन बैंक ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
I'm Taiwan, and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
Ja jestem Ion Bank.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank. I am Ion.
Ready, buddy? Here it comes. Keep your eye on the ball.
We see your future,
I got my eye on these colors.
your day-to-day,
Okay. Well, I got my eye on this.
Yeah, right.
really? And every big decision along the way. We see you when other banks really don't. So we can see you through anything. We're always looking out for you. Ion Bank.
I'm Brie, and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम चान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
हम तजिंदर कौर असी आयन बैंक ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
I'm Taiwan, and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
Ja jestem Ion Bank.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank. I am Ion.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. 45 minutes in the books, and it's been an exciting one, at least if you're from New England, as it's another chapter in classic New York versus New England, a bit of a back and forth before it is cleared off the line by Chan. Coffee gets the swipe, but it does get put home eventually by Augie Williams. Got to really appreciate the tenacious efforts from Derek Chan trying to lead the way defensively. But this would pretty much be it for the momentum for what was left of the Cosmos, maybe making a push for a comeback, only down 1-0, but an automatic red card giving to Tino Puentes, only 15 minutes deep. And even though New York held on for about 15-25 minutes after that, the dam would eventually break. It would come outside before Williams taps it back, and it's slammed in by Barry Coffey. Williams, that is a goal and an assist for him tonight. Barry Coffey getting his second goal in all competitions. And just before the end of the half, look at this feed from Arturo Dispe. It misses Williams, but no harm, no foul. Emmanuel Samaria able to clean up for his first goal of the season, where he gets it underneath the bar on Chan. And because of the man down sequence, the stats pretty much align to just that. That's about what you can expect when you're not only a difference in division, but a difference in personnel on the field. Hartford just having their way, trying to do everything they can. They've been a bit of an offensive slump lately, 2 full games without a goal, and they just want to be able to pack that in, gain some offensive opportunities before they return to regular season play, where they're going to have a gauntlet coming back in, where they have 3 consecutive games against teams in the top 5 of the Eastern Conference. They also have a game with Orange County within that mix. So that is 4 consecutive teams within the top 5 of the respective conferences between the East and West of the USL Championship. So for Hartford, every bit of momentum, and advantage you can get is a beneficial one. Also for Hartford, they are still alive for the top of Group 5, pardon. Coffee got one of the 3 goals, and all appearances indicate a trio of changes coming for Davide Corti. Sam Coffey, Barry Coffey, one of the 3 goal scorers for Hartford Athletic. Got the assist from Augie Williams on the back heel as new personnel is coming to the field for Coach Corti. Sebastian Guenzati, Ajmir Spangler, and Anderson Holt will all make their way into the match coming out of halftime. That's 2 attackers and 1 center back for Cosmos. And it could be just anything to spark any sort of confidence, especially when you have the current Golden Boot leader in Ajmir Spangler coming into the mix as well. We flip ends of the pitch.
Exceptional at times during his 4 years with Richmond Kickers. Played under Mika Olivares' tutelage throughout that period. As the yellow card is shown there.
Number 18,
to Brendan Kruger. Was exceptional at times during his 4 years with Richmond Kickers. Played under Mika Olivares' tutelage throughout that period. As the yellow card is shown there.
Number 18,
to Brendan Kruger. Bulai Tudor. High ball in. Farine gets his head across. Cisneros can't apply the final touch. And now the chance goes by the wayside. That was a golden opportunity for a lifeline. Andres Farine could not find Cisneros with his header across. It's an inviting ball in. Farine gets there first, trying to redirect it, and ultimately no one there to wrestle it over the goal line. And Bulai Tudor may be punished for expressing his frustration after the fact. Bulai Tudor. High ball in. Farine gets his head across. Cisneros can't apply the final touch. And now the chance goes by the wayside. That was a golden opportunity for a lifeline. Andres Farine could not find Cisneros with his header across. It's an inviting ball in. Farine gets there first, trying to redirect it, and ultimately no one there to wrestle it over the goal line. And Bulai Tudor may be punished for expressing his frustration after the fact. Cerro trying from distance, and that doesn't clear the first line of defense. Now Hudson Gay, he goes for goal. It's spilled by Amadeka, still loose, and finally the 18-year-old collects. Cerro trying from distance, and that doesn't clear the first line of defense. Now Hudson Gay, he goes for goal. It's spilled by Amadeka, still loose, and finally the 18-year-old collects. Cerro. Flashing ball in. Boxton gets a touch. It falls for Chris Garcia. Now Cisneros. Clip towards Boxton. Not enough power behind the header, and it's routine. Cerro. Flashing ball in. Boxton gets a touch. It falls for Chris Garcia. Now Cisneros. Clip towards Boxton. Not enough power behind the header, and it's routine with numbers racing forward. Brulinski. To drive inside, right at the goalkeeper, vacuumed in comfortably by Joshua Grant, with numbers racing forward. Brulinski. To drive inside, right at the goalkeeper, vacuumed in comfortably by Joshua Grant.
Siaha! Oh my word, how has this game changed now? Guenzati had a breakaway on Siaha, and Siaha charges out of the box. He takes down Guenzati. The ball does roll away, but regardless of how things go, Anthony Siaha is shown a red card himself. And now we play 10v10. So Anthony Siaha is done for this game. Especially made worse by the fact that Guenzati was on a breakaway. The only person that would have been able to stop Guenzati was Siaha. So perhaps the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and this forces Brendan Burke to make the necessary change-up. As Enzo Carvalho will go into the game, Barry Coffey, one of the two goal scorers, will make his exit. Enzo Carvalho, 23, soon to be 24, from Brazil. His last match was actually in the Open Cup, where Hartford lost to Rhode Island 2-0. Now he'll be asked to hold on for the last 25 minutes. Sent to goal, off the wall. Second try from Spangler, punched up by Carvalho and covered. Well, things got very interesting all of a sudden. Maybe not in terms of the result of a win or loss, but goal score does matter in this tournament. Galazzini tightropes the line, but over. So the official log for the Siaha red card is a last man foul, which does track. Part of the denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity for Sebastian Guenzati, especially because he did get one of the 3 goals against Westchester, contributed on 2 of those 3 to be a part of the team of the week in the second round. And for the Cosmos legend, who recently played his 100th match with the Cosmos, you can see why he's dangerous. Galazzini outside in, still ricocheting around before it's held on and coughed up. Closure of Hartford, considering that's what happened against New York. Ajmir Spangler near side. Spangler, no one in green in the vicinity. That was taken down and a Hartford whistle. This was the last opportunity in open play, as Ajmir Spangler had it wide. Galazzini sent it across, but a nice block by Prestis. And then you had the bit of a scrambly pass there that does not go into Hartford's favor. 25 minutes left in this match. Brooklyn FC will host Portland Hearts of Pine on Sunday. They host them tomorrow. only other action in this group, Rhode Island beating Westchester 3-0, and that does have some effect on the standing, as Spangler wants to cut it back towards Kofi and touches back to Carvalho. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on CBS Sports Golazo and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Assuming the result holds, Hartford would be at the top of the group with Rhode Island right behind them. And with the potential 2-point discrepancy, how important could that opening game of El Clamico be for Hartford? Considering it wasn't regulation, it was in pens. Swung outside, Galazzini to center. No one on the receiving end again. Aiming for Williams deep, but you have two men on there almost every time with Materazzi and Noker. Spangler trying to get Galazzini involved again to center, but every single time, the only person there is in white, either Dispe or Prestis. And also with this current 3-goal outing by Hartford, they do lead the group in terms of goals scored also. So at the very least for Athletic, if they can hold tight and play with the defensive identity they've had throughout this entire season, they could come out at the top of the group after the night's over. Considering last year they made it as one of 2 wild card teams. Spangler with the foul there. And Dispe has been getting knocked to the ground all sorts of ways. Athletic back on. Carriaga to the outside, return to Carriaga. Back and forth with Anderson. Anderson. Corner to Hartford. Hartford got to the quarterfinal stage as a wild card last time out. Also keep in mind in last year's tournament there were 6 groups and 2 wild cards. This year 7 groups, 1 wild card. They actually made us a second wild card. Them and Portland Hearts of Pine, who they're actually trying to chase at the top of the table tonight and can overtake it if they hold on to their 3-0 lead in the 71st. Carriaga. Scooped across, off the bar, still loose. Off of a body, Hartford still in control. Another service, headed, goes down, rebound. Ingalina can't center it, still loose. Cosmos swiping away before it's finally broomed out. Does not reach Spangler. Before it's eventually dislodged with Kofi in the region. And all sorts of back and forth will force things to be paused at right by the center line. lot of chasing between Cosmos and Hartford. Cosmos are looking for their first win since the round 2 game against Westchester, while Hartford are looking to get to the top of the Group 5 table, where they were chasing Portland going into today. Them in Birmingham with the 2 wild cards last year amongst the 6-group field. And because they had the most goals within a whole bunch of teams that they actually were tied with points, that's how Hartford got through, where they eventually ran the tourney all the way to the top, holding the USL Cup when it was all said and done. Maybe a break for Hartford, gets touched back. Try from deep is held off by Chan and swept away. It'll remain with Hartford, but they will make a change. It is Jordan Chavez who will enter, and that will be it for the New York Cosmos debut of Davide Materazzi. And for Materazzi, you might recognize that name. His dad, Marco, was a World Cup champion with Italy 20 years ago. He actually received the infamous Zinedine Zidane headbutt, was Marco Materazzi. And Materazzi also scored one of the 2 goals in that game, the other one being Zidane at the time. 20 years later, World Cup in New Jersey, where his son plays with the Cosmos, just getting subbed off for his Cosmos debut. Samadia, forceful, can't get the cross to a corner. 5 in the second half for Hartford. Return to Anderson, low driver, blocked away. Ingalina. Back towards Anderson. Bouncing ball cleared out by Cosmos. 15 minutes remain. Taken down across center, yellow carded. Arturo Dispe, who was actually the one who got the foul against him to draw the initial red card on New York, now gets a yellow card of his own, as he was forcing his leg out on Ajmir Spangler. New York at the very least recoup a goal back. At the very least, if things stand, Hartford would lead the group with 5 goals scored, and then you have a whole plethora of teams who each have 4 across the board. New York and Brooklyn, the only 2 teams with 3 goals so far, so if New York can at least recoup something back, it could be helpful in the group standing come their final Prinx Cup game against Portland Hearts of Pine on 7-11. Edge of the area, Guanzati couldn't slide it through. Carvalho easily hangs on. As you can enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter today. What could you not love about that? A tote, a scarf, very own select ball. How about that picnic tent, though? Could be so useful on a rainy day like today in Patterson. Nonetheless, dozen minutes left to go. was about 100 minutes in real time of a weather delay. That was right after the 15th minute, and the last action before that was the red card. So you have to imagine what was going through those conversations as you have to imagine what the conversations were. The last thing you do going into a weather delay is get a red card, and you have to game plan for an 11v10 when you return. And you have over an hour and a half to sit on it. And even more so for Cosmos, because they have a team that has been really up and down so far this year, looking to right the ship themselves in Portland. Guenzati cuts it down, slaps it out. Bowie, blocked by Anderson. Return to Hartford. Final 10 minutes, 2 more changes for Coach Burke. 3 more changes, pardon. And this could just simply be a management of minutes, especially for some of the heavy hitters in today's game for Athletic. 80th minute. Augie Williams is out with a goal and an assist to his name. Michi Ingalina takes a seat, as well as Arturo Dispe, who got a assist tonight as well. And then on the entry will be Sadat Anaku, Andres Hernandez, and Boubacar NG. NG, by the way, one day after turning 31, 1995. Andres Hernandez comes in. The former El Salvador international, Sadat Anaku from Uganda, also in. A very youthful lineup, especially for Coach Burke, trying to get some of these guys minutes, not your usual starters, but very much in the mix, as per usual. Especially for Boubacar NG, only 2 games played in regular season action in 2026. If you're Hartford, don't take your foot off the gas, because you are leading this Group 5 table in points and in goals, assuming all things hold. But you might want to increase that goal score mark, with that being the primary tiebreaker. Receive towards Kiriaga. He's got Samadia alongside. Kiriaga cuts back. Samadia, top of the area. Gives it a lift. Headed down. Over. Offside. Good attempt, though, by Sadat Anaku. Yes, Samadia, not really one to give it a go too often, considering that he scored his first goal of the season today. Very much more of a setup man is Emmanuel Samadia, who is 1 game away from 150 professionally all comps. Galazzini. Hartford have it back, Samadia. Hartford, no matter what the situation is, they are continuing to be aggressive. Especially with how many times they've been offside so far this year. for Hartford in Prinx Tires USL Cup competition. It's the 11th in Fitzpatrick Stadium against Portland. Here's a roller from deep, but it's wide of Anaku. Anaku's only been in the game for about 4 minutes, and here he had 2 great attempts. First one was a header on the back post, and this time he just has his man Anderson Holt beat. Keep in mind that going into tonight, Portland was leading the group, which is New York's next opponent in this competition. In regular season play, a week from today, we'll go to the reigning champs, One Knox, where they have 2 lengthy string of road games between going to Knoxville and going to Madison when they resume USL League One play. For Hartford, an absolute gauntlet when they return to regular season play. 2 road trips in the next 3 between going to Tampa and Louisville City, who are both top 4 teams in the East. Pittsburgh Riverhounds sandwiched in between back at Trinity Health Stadium, where the Hounds themselves are in the top 5 of the East. And then they host Orange County first week of July. Only 4 days after going to Louisville, they get to play against a top 2 team in the West in Orange County. Orange County have that slew of games from June to July on the road because of their facilities being used as a World Cup base, as it couldn't be dislodged. Held in by Jordan Chavez. Spangler. Kofi. Spangler. Dancing at the 18. When you take a look at this New York squad as a whole, you have to wonder, what do they have to do to get back to the win column? Maybe generate some momentum in the regular season, where they are last in the table. Might be able to get something, as Galazzini, is the one who draws the foul and will get a free kick out of this. This is Galazzini one-on-one with Samadia. No yellow card was distributed there, as if there weren't enough cards in this game already, and in their respective lasting impacts. But you have Ajmer Spangler, who is currently a part of the Golden Boot race, leading it in League One, and is also only 1 assist away from the Golden Playmaker lead. So you don't know with Spangler there where he's going to go. It will be Spangler. Sent it. Chopped down. Rebound. Rolled. Ricochets off the post. Rebound is loose, and it's in! One back for New York, as at the very least they get on the board. One thing you can always bank on is what you can do on set pieces. Jordan Chavez gets the reach in and appears to get the final touch on this one. And G couldn't get the clear, only the block. The little corner to the post doesn't fall kindly for Hartford. And at the very least for New York, they didn't get blanked out. Jordan Chavez with the goal, only his 5th as a pro. A chance for Hartford to respond, and they do! Off the bench, on the board, Andres Hernandez gets the lead back to 3 for Hartford. Right off the kickoff to restart play, No one is guarding Anderson. He is as wide open as you can be. No one was there to mark him. Slid it in. And only seconds later, Hartford recouped their 3-goal lead. As we noted before, goals scored is the primary tiebreaker when you remove the points and wins. So every goal does matter. Hartford can plant themselves firmly at the top of the table, not just by points, but by goals scored as well. And they'll need every advantage they can get. With how tight the table are, Rhode Island lurking, Portland with their opportunity, as do Brooklyn. Maybe more on deck as it goes off a block to a corner. 6 of the half for Hartford. High arc, off ahead, back-to-back corners to New York. 4 minutes of stoppage coming up. This is New York's third of the second half. Off of Fisher, 4 added minutes. Still deep. New York can't continue progress as they're getting snuffed out at every chance. Added minutes on the board. We're through 1, and you have to wonder what kind of a confidence boost this will give to not only Brennan Burke but the entire Hartford athletic squad. He mentioned how sometimes the individual efforts, and when you have individual guys performing at high levels, it can provide confidence to the rest of the group. Probably have felt that in spades today. Anaku. Still held in on the near side. Well wide of Spangler as we're halfway through stoppage. And then the delayed yellow card also comes up on Sebastian Guenzati. He'll just eat that one. Guenzati just gets in the feet from behind on Samadia. And this is about as rough of a couple-day stretch you can have for New York. Corpus Christi were held winless through the opening 10 games or so. They were at the bottom of the table, but because Corpus Christi got their first win on Wednesday, that dropped New York to the bottom of the League One table. And on top of that, a really tough match versus Hartford, where not only did they get scored on 11 minutes in, but took that red card in the 15th, over an hour to just sit on it on the rain delay. And while they did get one goal, that was well after Hartford had a 3-0 lead at the half, and it's been 1 goal apiece in the second half. Not much time looming left for this match, as they're going for another. The goal scored tiebreaker is taking its effect when you see that Hartford is still going for it, even in the waning moments of stoppage time. Trying to loosen up towards Anderson, will accept another corner. So this is corner 6 and 7 in short succession for Athletic. Patrick Bowie got a little bit tangled up with Anderson as he went really aggressively on the slide and is hobbling around very gingerly, as you can see by that close-up. Another corner looped in, blocked out, and that will do it. Hartford have regained the top of the group table. They walk out of New Jersey leading Group 5. 4-1 the final. And a scoring drought coming in. They have feasted on New York coming out. We wrap things up in New Jersey as round 3 of the USL Cup wraps up in Patterson when we come back.
Everybody, come. Keep your eye on the ball.
We see your future,
I got my eye on these colors.
your day-to-day,
Okay. Well, I got my eye on this.
Yeah, right.
really? And every big decision along the way. We see you when other banks really don't. So we can see you through anything. We're always looking out for you. Ion Bank.
I'm Bree, and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम चान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
I'm Tajinder Kaur, ਅਸੀਂ Ion Bank ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
I'm Taiwan, and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
Ja jestem Ion Bank.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank. I am Ion.
Wrap up action in Group 5 of USL Cup play between New York Cosmos and Hartford Athletic. 3 games are in the book, 1 left to go in the 2026 Prinx Tires USL Cup as we go through our full-time highlights between Cosmos and Athletic. And it was most certainly a busy one today as it started off on the outside before Augie Williams would get the touch in. Coffee couldn't bury it, Williams would on the rebound, and that would open up the scoring 1-0 into the match. To get Williams off of a much important scoreless drought, he eventually would get on the board. That's not the first time he would do so, but only 4 minutes after that, there would be a red card on the book. Puentes would get sent off, only 15 minutes deep. And after the rain delay, everything really turned the tide, and Hartford would not look back. Williams touches it back, Coffee with the bury. And for Hartford, it seemed like they would have a multi-goal lead going into the half, no matter what happened, because just after that, they would pile it on once more. It gets loose, as that is a banger from Samaria. The follow-up, it looked like Williams would have gotten a touch to it, but it just skips past him, probably for the benefit of Hartford Athletic. 3-0 it would go at the halftime, and this was another interesting turn of events. Sebastian Guenzati trying to slide past Anthony Siaha, but Siaha took down Guenzati outside of the area. Last man back of a clear goal-scoring opportunity would send off Siaha. But things wouldn't be over quite yet. Still very much a match to be played, as the free kick service would get batted around and down before it eventually slides in for Hartford, where they much needed to get one back. As this is another try to send it deep. And Hartford would get one back in quick succession right after the last goal was scored. Since the goals scored do matter in this tournament, and they want to take advantage every single chance they get. Well, that will do it for all of us and our entire crew here in Paterson, New Jersey, where the Cosmos and Hartford would be decided by a final of 4-1 favoring the USL Championship side. For our entire USL Cup on ESPN Plus crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.